Yo, what's up people? We are now, our adventure is continuing, and we are now at the house of Sampoerna. Sampoerna is actually an Indonesian cigarette, and it's a very famous cigarette actually in Indonesia itself. So we are the heart of that place. This is actually a museum that shows where, it tells a little bit of the history of Sampoerna, a little bit of the person who actually started off this Sampoerna cigarette thing. Now, some of the highlight of this museum is there are actually 2,900 female workers in this place, and they actually roll 325 cigarettes in 1 hour. Now that is crazily interesting. So what we're going to do is the whole trip is going to be, we're going to understand the whole history of it, and then we're going to go and see how they actually make this cigarette, and hopefully we can also roll this cigarette. And I think that's part of this trip, so you get to roll your own cigarette and in their own traditional way of how they do it. So I'm really excited, and I'm gonna go and try this out. You also follow me on this mini adventure. Let's go. Right, this is the entrance of the house of Sampoerna, and we're gonna make our way in down here. Right, let's go. Okay, so this is the entrance. Oh, thank you. Oh, hello. So this is the museum. Take a walk down, please. Singapore.
Okay, so we have a very unique thing in this museum. So we can see a cigarette factory from the second floor, and it will end soon. So I suggest you to go up first and see the hand rolling process today.
Ah, okay.
What time is the next one?
Yeah, it will end at 1. So
oh, okay, we can go up now.
So there, and the left or the right is the same.
Okay, thank you. Oops, so we are actually a bit late, I think. Huh?
5 passing the museum, we're just going up there soon.
So we're gonna see the process first because we're a bit late, so. That's the smell. The cigarette, Sampoerna. Yeah. So actually, the museum, you have like a very strong smell, very sweet and cinnamon spice kind of a smell. Now, this is the man behind the entire empire of the Sampoerna, Mr. Lian Seng T, and this is his wife, Mrs. Lian Seng T. Alright. So these guys were the king and queens of Sampoerna. Up till today. They started off. Now I just want to bring attention to this place here. This is actually the entire place of the house of Sampoerna. Now down here is where we are, this main complex here. So this was where the factory actually is and all. Now on your right is actually, currently now is actually the cafe, which is on this side. Now the main important thing is on your left side here. Now this left side here is actually the residence of Mr. Lian Seng T when he first started. Now even up till today, generations after generations are actually still residing in this area, and I think that's a very historical site. So it's a very interesting place. And I also want to know, I just understand that Charlie Chaplin actually visited this place when he came down here in 1932. So it's a very interesting and very memorable place, I would say. Okay, yeah. So that's all I've got to tell you for now. Okay, this is a very special icon here. This was actually the first store that was set up by the founder, Lian Seng T. And the reason why they set up this store in bamboo is because it's very cost effective, because you don't have to set up a real shop. So they made it out of bamboo. And the wife is a very interesting person. What she used to do was she used to pack the money into all this bamboo here to keep the cash. So that's how this store first started. Now, I need to look here. So these are the tobaccos, and I'm actually going to try and smell and see if there's anything on it, right? I have some tobacco here, right? Tobacco actually means tembakau is in the Indonesian pronunciation of tobacco. You smell. okay. I think it smells more or less the same like how all tobacco would smell. But I think what makes the difference is the cloves that is actually added into this thing that gives that very aromatic smell. So that's the special thing. Let's check out more. Alright, so this basically explains why the cigarette actually smells very much of spices and cloves. It's because one of the main ingredients that they use in Sampoerna actually seems to be spice, cloves. So there's actually quite a bit of different types of cloves here. This is all cloves, as you can see. Cloves, cloves, no, cloves. So that's really nice. And this is actually the founder's bicycle. The person who actually founded this Sampoerna cigarette, as you can see. And this is actually the oven where they actually do the tobacco drying. This is actually a brick oven for tobacco drying. So they get the tobaccos in here to be dried in this huge brick oven. It's just some pictures here. I don't know if that guy's the owner.
This kind of oven in Lombok, Nusa Tenggara. The size of this is about 4 or 5 times bigger than this one. It takes 4 until 5 hours to dry the tobacco in.
Right, and this is the grinder where they actually grind the cloves.
The tobacco has been ready using this kind of oven
to be put into the cigarette. Yep, so and this is your tobacco, right?
What's tobacco in Indonesian?
Tobacco in Indonesian is actually called tembakau.
Tembakau.
Yeah, so you can see they're actually from Madura, Jawa, Timur. So this is your fine tobacco that is mixed together with the cloves. And then actually you can actually take a sample and just smell it. You know, it's fine to actually be smelling all this tobacco. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so it's the two principal ingredients: tobacco and cloves. Sure. The other interesting thing about this place, Sampoerna, is apparently Sampoerna had their own marching band. This marching band was from 1989 to 1992. Now, as you can see, this was what they used to wear, the uniforms. And this band comprised of 234 workers from this facility itself, right? And this included women, those cigarette rollers, and those women who actually made up this band. And this band actually represented Indonesia in the 1990 and 1991 tournaments or cruises in Pasadena, California, USA. So it's very interesting that they actually managed to get a group of people from their own factory to form a band. And I think they're very talented people as well. Not just working here, but look at the amount of instruments they can play. There's a euphonium here, there's a snare drum. Okay. So this machine behind me is actually an old printing machine, which they actually previously used to actually make cigarette packets, labels, and other printed materials for the cigarette things. Now this machine is apparently still functioning, but as of now they're not using this old machine. I think they're using more modernized machine to do all those printing for the packets and labels as well. Yep. So these were some of the what we have here is actually the different types of Sampoerna cigarettes that's sold worldwide. Sampoerna is actually sold worldwide, as we can see here. Netherlands, Singapore, right? Netherlands, Singapore, Malaysia. I even saw one in Brazil somewhere at the back there. Now I think the only there's Korea. But the only difference is actually, I mean, in my opinion, what I think is the difference is actually the nicotine and the tar content. Now, for example, when we look at Malaysia, there's some Sampoerna, probably. It's actually down here. It's actually 20 mg of tar and 1.5 mg of nicotine, right? 20 and 1.5. Now, the same cigarette in Singapore is actually 15 mg of tar, it's about 5, difference of 5, and 1.3 nicotine. So I think the main difference is actually the difference in the content of the tar and the nicotine. So depending on the various countries' requirement or specifications. Yeah. Right. Okay, we just finished our tour. I mean, unfortunately, we were not able to do the rolling of cigarettes. I mean, previously, tourists were able to do that, but right now they have taken that out for a few years. I'm not too sure why. Quite disappointed by that. So, but what we managed to see was actually the workers actually doing the cigarettes. And I've got to tell you, that was really, really impressive. They were doing so fast. One of them was like packing, putting the nicotine to the cigarette and rolling it up. The other one was packing the box, and everything was going so fast. That's why I'm not surprised why they can actually make 325 cigarettes in an hour. My God, that was really, really interesting, and I just couldn't take my eyes off it. So this is where our tour ends for House of Sampoerna, and we're waiting for a taxi. So we'll catch you up with more videos soon.